everybody has to think as an iPhone, So we should update ourselves, and we should try to be our updated version, as we got the experiences. So yeah, one of the things I took with myself, and again, it was a learning process. When you start coaching, you tend to be very coach centric, you have the knowledge, you want to transfer this knowledge, and you change a lot of your practices, your exercises. This is the natural way, of you very eager to learn and very eager to show also that you know. And I think when you get some experiences, you start realizing that the importance is within the player, and from a coach-centric approach, you start becoming more a player-centric approach, and that's what we're trying to do here. So how to combine player-centric environment, create a high-performance environment, but at the same time maintain a family-centric environment. So to me, this would be the three pillars. Players,
fantastic, yeah.
Family, and high performance. And I think if you can combine these three elements, there is a recipe of success there. This is some of the concepts. Again, very general. Being collective, having a good positional play, using the space wisely. On and off the ball, and then being brave, taking initiative, and wanting the ball when the pressure is on us. So that's the general three pillars, which we'll break down later on into principles. These are the principles. This is our DNA. This is present in some shape or form in every session. And again, nothing new there, but most importantly, and I think we spoke of the record, Mark, on creating the same language.
Yeah, sure.
I think for us,
so important.
This is a document that everybody has in their whiteboards when they show the training sessions. The boys talk this language, the coaches talk this language, and it became second nature for us. So the day when they have the opportunities, the 17s, some of the 15s had the opportunity to train with the first team, they listen in the same thing, So then, as per the training model, again, very player-centric, we discuss, main value for us, and how can we build all the programs around the player, but most importantly, having in mind at all times this mantra. I call it our mantra, each player is a project, so we need to take them to the next level, whether it's soccer-wise or football-wise, but most importantly, how can we have an impact on his character? And again, I think that's something coming from above, coming from Claudio, and I think it's a very good concept of we already select the talent, we already have talented players in the system, so our main mission is, all right, teach them the game and so on and so forth, but our main impact is character-wise. How can we equip these young kids to have the character that will allow them to succeed, not only in football, but also in life. That's a little bit also a breakdown of how the process looks like. Obviously, everything starts with the scouting and identifying or having a clear idea of which player we want to look for. Then having a reflection around the methods, and we talked about that before, right? So which are the methods that every player needs to develop, and again, there is a big trend, and I'm a big follower of the tactical periodization model, but we also can do an impact by doing technical stuff with them, ball coordination, body control. So there are plenty of tools that we should be using, and always ask ourselves, what do the player need, at one point. So again, use the competition to develop the mindset, to understand how fast they learn, how fast they apply concepts, having into account always the family and the environment, being a support there. For us, academics is big. in every individual meeting we have with the boys, the first thing we ask is how school is going. Do you need help there? I think it's important they realize that school builds also character and discipline. They need to learn time management to keep up with both the sporting and the academic life. So very, very concerned about that, very, very aware about the importance of that. And finally is the assessment. So assessing the players on and off the field, trying to have a continuous assessment. Although we have identified 3 big moments, but this happen every day, every week. We constantly talk about players in these meetings that we're talking about, and trying to see how can we help them to evolve. So that's the model. That's what we're talking about. So we took the ideas of the first team, and we create a cycle. We create a cycle that is based on random learning, trying to break down the concepts into a way that we can revisit, but it doesn't happen into blocks, because it's proven that it's better to randomize the learning process. And again, we have a week where we focus more on with behaviors, and obviously this is linked to the principles that we saw before. The second week of the month we focus on depth and how to make runs in behind, recovery runs, and all the principles attached to this structure. On the third week we basically review some of the contents of the previous 2 weeks, and then we have the fourth week, which is the competitive week, and we're trying to create a very competitive environment. We mix in age groups. They compete in small side games. They compete against older boys. We also use this for tapering and giving minutes to the players that they've been playing less during the month in official games. So a kind of compensation. And then it's a cool thing we do as well is at the end of the month we do what we call the team of the month, and we select the players that they've been performing or behaving, or they have done something that is worth rewarding. So we gather all together, we give them a diploma at the end of the competitive week that they can keep, and at the same time after the training we also do the staff of the month. So we're trying to celebrate that the cycle is over and start a new cycle again. So that's the elements that we take into account. Coming back to the differentiating, we call it IDAT, but basically you've seen this everywhere with different names. So the 4 corners, I think, for the English FA. But again, trying to work on the body, on the ball, on the brain, and the heart of the players. So, and the way we structure it on a daily basis is this. And we were talking before on the roles, the coaching roles. So for us, the Monday is observing, having fun, focus on the body. And again, we have a set of strategies before, during, and after the training. The second day is the brain, where we're gonna ask a lot of questions, big spaces, a lot of information. So it's the tactical awareness day. On a Wednesday, we try to overload them with emotional constraints. So the coaches try to be more direct. The feedback is tough. They know that's going to happen. So again, they prepared for that, and then we have a reflection. And the most important piece of this day is at the end of the session, when we start talking about how do they feel, when this happened. How do they feel when the referee was bad, How do you feel when the coach yelled at you at one point, So this reflection time is crucial for them to understand that we're creating this environment to give them tools, And finally, the activation day, the last day prior to the game, is all about confidence. It's being supportive, focus on the good things, and creating this environment where the boys feel that they done well, they had fun, and finally the game, as we spoke before, the conductor or the maestro, where the coach feel free to again use the different styles as per the game demands.
Sure.
I'll show you just an example of the practice on a Monday. That's something we repeat a lot. It's a 4x4. Depending on the week of the month, we create different 4x4s. In this case, it's the line work, where they learn how to function as a line, and the opposite, the attacking team is trying to break it and use the principles that we were talking about. Can we go around them? Can we use mobility? And yeah, basically just an example of what will happen in a Monday.
Brilliant.
So I will go quickly here because we don't have a lot of time, but just showing a little bit more in detail how the training session itself look depending of the week. That's an example of what happened pre-training. So we call it the pre-block, where we focus on body and ball and also the classroom piece. So again, we have a mixture of agility and coordination, technical work, injury prevention, gym, and the classroom piece, where we show them concepts, soccer related, football related, but sometimes it's just, let's talk about nutrition or let's talk about time management. So we believe that these moments are crucial to, again, helping them to build the character and giving them the tools to deal with the daily life and daily problems. So we use the classroom for that, not only for tactical aspects. So again, that's how a week will look like. You see the colors there. You see that some of the colors repeat again over and over. Rondos to begin with. Some of the exercises, I said, depending on the 4x4, you see that it happens on a Monday, but one day is, for instance, is numerical advantage, the other day is positional advantage, the other day is line work, and the other Monday is just a tournament, a 4x4 tournament. So just to give you a glance and an idea of how the program looks like.
And that probably answers another great question from Daryl around the difference in the under-12s program and the 18s. And I know we talked about it early in the week, around that player development piece in terms of, I suppose from a practice perspective, would it be fair to say that those core practices you talked about would be relevant right the way throughout the club, from the youngest age right the way through to the senior team? Because I love that line earlier of, does the first team reflect the academy? And in my own experience, I look back to the Barcelonas of this world, the Benficas, the well-known academies. That's certainly been the case when they've been their best. The first team reflects the academy philosophy. So would that be a fair assessment of your program? There's a lot of consistency in practice design and structure, given the differences between the players' age groups.
Yeah, what we do it the other way around. We actually have the luxury of, I go once or twice a week to train with the first team, and the under 17 coach as well. So what we basically go for is to understand the exercises, and every week we're trying to get a practice and bring it down to the system, So when we do the Monday plan, we already select 3 or 4 exercises that has been happening with the first team, and then we adapt it to our reality. But the process goes, instead of the 12s up, it goes first team down. So and again, being there, being on the pitch, listening to the coaches, the feedback, it helps us a lot, because one thing is in a piece of paper or a video, and a different thing is living close to the exercise and understanding what the coach is demanding. So that's the way we connect, first team and the academy. That's a luxury that we have. It's hard to have that, and we're very, very thankful, for the first team staff to allow us to do so.